All right, welcome back to the channel. My name is Tavares, and today we're going to be going over the Whydo Week of Buffs. Now, this is a initiative by the player whose tag is Whydo. He has been a known labber of Steve and how crazy Steve can be, and he did a whole week of just showing insane tech for Steve. We're just going to be going through the tech of that week and rating it out of 1 through 5 of how effective I think it actually be in tournament for Steve's to learn. Will this get character banned? I don't know. I don't think Steve's going to get banned until we all come to a consensus, especially when it comes to Japan having the best player in the world be a Steve main. Going to make some things controversial, but we're just going to go through it and see 1 through 5 if this is going to make him absurd or not. All right, so first we're starting with this.
That's crazy. Oh my god, you can do that from a fucking down throw?
Doing that from a down throw. Let me turn that up a little bit. It's called crud. So this is down throw, and you can basically do an input to do reverse up tilt. Now, it kind of reminded me of perfect pivoting when I first saw this, but making this a true combo is kind of crazy because, you know, doing a raw up tilt to get it, obviously isn't that hard for Steve, but getting it from a throw as well makes shield not as viable. You can't just shield roll through. That works on a bunch of characters, doesn't work on the characters with very fast options or certain hurtbox shifting, which is interesting to me, but yeah.
But then I lose to fucking box Pikachu.
Very
Cheater!
easy on Smackbro.
Cheater!
So it turns out a lot of these tech is going to be easier on Smashbox than it will be on regular controller, which is interesting to me. And this is the first one. So out of 1 through 5. So I think the biggest advantage of this is that having an option from your grab at 0 changes things a lot when it comes to low percent, because running up shield is a lot of people's favorite thing to do. And yeah, you can just spam up tilt to do that, but some characters do have great out of shield options to get the exchange first. Now you have an answer to that, but to be honest, I don't think it's that insane, considering that Steve could get so much just from any like aerial or not really aerial, but really get so much from up tilt anyway. And there are optimal combos that would kill anyway. But I think the biggest thing is that you could kill somebody from this at 0 if you have the combo for it. Not every Steve's gonna have that combo for it, and really a 0 to 80 from a grab isn't anything new, but it's still, it doesn't seem that difficult. It's just more consistent with the other characters. Since it's not super duper difficult and it works on a bunch of the cast, I think I'd probably put it at like probably 3 out of 5, because I feel like it's not something Steve couldn't have done before, and Steve should learn this, but it's just not going to be the game-changing tech that I think it could be. This is another thing that looks like perfect pivoting. But this one actually looks like more you're doing it just without adding inputs. I gotta say, it looks really cool, and it only works with Joker and Steve from what I can tell. And since it's really hard on most controllers, and I think it's going to be easy on box, this is more about, you know, if you have box controllers, it's going to be crazy. I don't think I've ever seen a box Steve though. Now it does make microspacing a lot better when it comes to like certain situations and with punishing, but since it's super hard for most controllers, I think we're just going to see this from box players. Yeah. So generally speaking, I was always a thing with Smash 4 where, like, since only certain characters could really abuse perfect pivoting, and microspacing was like really, it was like not and it wasn't niche, but it wasn't the most important thing in the world for every character in the game. When it comes to Steve, I think this is more like you're scared of certain options, and this is a niche thing you can go for. Since it's so hard on most controllers, and you'd have to burn box to even just do it, I think this is probably the least influential Steve buff you could give to him, unless you really, really need it. Because even if I feel like it's just another movement option. And if you have to work really, really hard to throw another movement option and then you can risk messing it up, I just think it's just not that influential. I think it's like 1 out of 5, to be honest. I don't see most of the practicality of having a microspacing thing unless you have a box. And if you need a box to do it, maybe if you even with the box, I feel like this is just something that you need to be in a certain situation. I need to see certain situations that could be broken that you couldn't just run back shield or just do out of shield something. But, you know, maybe it's just that I don't have enough information. All right, this next is Arcane Secrets is what I saw. So these are, I guess, things that people just forgot about, but we saw at the beginning. Double jump short and reverse up there. Wow, crazy shield pressure. What? That's crazy. Those aren't just for combos. They can deal with attacks. Yeah. Especially because the block is there to stall their attack. To stall their moves. So having an anvil to refresh. Yeah, there's a lot of mini techs here. So I guess I'll just go through each of them. So we have this, the ledge jump nil shield, or we just have nil shield, I guess, or we just have the options from ledge, and you can use nil for defensive combos or defense. I think this is really, really good because there's a lot of characters whose solution to fight Steve is to mash on him and make him not able to mine, put up blocks, all that stuff. And having another option that isn't just trying to roll or trying to parry everything is fantastic, which I think is like a 4 out of 5 because it's not super broken. Because you already it's just adding another option. And I think adding another option has a lot of tools. If you can kill off of this consistently, I'd give it a 5 out of 5. Or you can hit them for free. But it's not in some situations where their sword's just big, like Sephiroth or Cloud or Corrin or Ike or something like that, you're probably not going to be close enough to be able to punish them for it, but it's good to get away. And I think as an escape option, this is a fantastic one. See, like right here, this still was safe, but it just, you know, it added more to it than him just having to take it. Now the anvil invincibility thing, reset. Since this does lead to more like you stalling at ledge, I think it's great. But again, you still have to play the ledge game, and you still are at ledge, which can be uncomfortable versus some characters who have good edge guarding ability or just have something that can 2-frame. It's just not a broken thing. So that would be probably like a 4 out of 5. No, probably 3 out of 5. It's cool. Oh yeah, that I've known this one as well. Just a little bit like tidbits and stuff. It's super niche, but it would be funny. So 3 out of 5. TNT gambling definitely is. Yeah, this only really works if your opponent runs at you with the invincibility. But I guess that can happen there too. I don't know. This is kind of a weird one. Because it definitely takes a gamble on what your opponent does. But you can sometimes be right. I think it's just more silly than anything else. So, nah. Another 3 out of 5. Honestly, this video probably has some of the most... Okay, yeah, I can see the application of it. I can see what makes it good. But it's very situational, and there is counterplay, which is usually why I would put 3 out of 5. If it's, I can see where it can work, but there's a lot of counterplay to the options that aren't too difficult to do. This one we have ESC and BESC.
There's also a short Coyote jump. The timing is really strict.
For those who don't know what a Coyote jump is, it's basically that you're running off the ledge or running off a platform and you jump right as you do an attack and you get a slip. It's really hard and the timing's really perfect. Like, it has to be perfect. But Steve apparently can do it easy. So yeah, you see how you can do that without, I think you use it as you use your double jump. Yeah, full hop, you get full hop damage and no jump squat. That's what it is, yeah. It looks really cool. It makes your movement look really nice. Probably run off fastball too, so Snake can be really good with this because you can run off fastball up air or up tilt really, really fast. And another Smashbox. Smashbox is seeming to make Steve look broken. But yeah. It's hard, but it's definitely doable. You just gotta really practice this. Works best on characters with low jumps, so that's why he's using like Ganondorf and Belmont and Snake. But yes, this is why Steve can be broken with it, because he can make his own platform to do the ledge slip. So he has full hop damage at short hop height. A lot of characters can't, most characters can't do that. The only character who really can do that easily is Peach because of her float. But we have Steve here. We can do this, and it's super, super silly. So let's see. Honestly, with this, like, I think this is just really great way to add pressure into your game that isn't just mashing buttons, because this is harder to hit him, and he makes like crazy damage from it. He's gonna be very scary at kill percent as well. The only real thing is that since it is kind of difficult to do, you take a lot of practice to do. You're not going to see every Steve being able to do this, but I think then that's the only knock I can really give to it, because I think it's just really good application for aggressive tools, aggressive moves, and aggressive play. And defensively, you already see you can mix this with the nil and make it so that you can deal with their own mashing too. So if you mix those two options together, I think this is a great combination to make his neutral more complicated and way more scary. Honestly, because of the nil thing existing as well, I would probably put this as 5 out of 5 as an application. Like, you get those two together, those are 5 out of 5 options. I don't think any Steve shouldn't do it, other than like maybe being hard. Shield at ledge trump. So these are characters who can hit your shield, or that you can just do shield at ledge and then up B towards the ledge trump. It reminds me of Mario Cape, but doing it at a shield can make it even easier to deal with like characters who have hitboxes that go past the ledge, like Peach, and force a regrab. But it also deals with anti-trump options. That's nice. So yeah, this one's way more useless, but it's funny. It's definitely funny. You can lead to some silly situations. So generally speaking, I will say that ledge trumping in this game isn't as consistent as it was in Smash 4, because you can hold in and you can buffer options to not deal with trump. And because of that, if they know you're going for it, or if you get too obvious, this probably won't be super duper effective. But mixed with Steve's already crazy ledge options, a lot of people just lead to just waiting on ledge and see what happens. So this does add another option. It's just you have to be really tricky, I think. And the reward can be really good if they're a high percent, of course. This is just more trumping in itself is kind of niche because of buffering options be and how obvious it can be in some cases. But I think it's still pretty good. I give it around a 3 out of 5, to be honest. Because I think Steve having this can make it trumping really easy for him, but trumping is just not that great in this game. All right, this is FDA. Same footstool dare air dodge out of shield. Never miss a footstool dare again. So this is to make footstool dare consistent. Interesting. So either you get it or you fall back.
Mr. President, do you want the FDA?
That's a building block. That means it's a very substantial chunk of a step. And that's a building block to the ultimate step. That's a big
So this is honestly seeming like an universal tech. Let's jump exactly twice. Ah, I see. Shout out to the reflex wonder.
We're going to work with the FDA to develop new approaches.
So FDA is more of a universal tech more than it is Steve. Of course, Steve has, footstool to dare, which is broken and kills really early. But this could just be a option select, which is honestly really, really good. Since this does revolve around doing the footstool out of the footstool input and learning this, I think this is like super applicable. I think every Steve should learn this. And since every Steve should learn it, and the counterplay is not really, it's like the counterplay definitely exists, but it's more about dealing with shield and dealing with footstool out of shield than it is. It's just making something that they're already doing way better. I think that's just 5 out of 5, to be honest. Because like that's just making something you already do way better and making it so even if you mess up, you're not just stuck in a bad position. That's great to see. And the final tech is mad. This is the tech everyone was freaking out about on Twitter. So mining has always been learned to be laggy, but now you can change that. So being able to actively air dodge certain attacks to not get hit while mining is crazy. Mine puts you frame 12. That's because you need to wait out mining lag first, 9 frames, right? But if you hold B, keep holding B, and then do the air dodge, you can cancel mine directly into air dodge. And since air dodge isn't that laggy in this game, this could lead to you just winning the situation. Like that. Something like, and it's really big in the Kazuya matchup because this laser is so laggy. So I think the big thing people need to realize is you notice that most of these situations are projectiles and super laggy committal moves. If you just spamming moves that aren't laggy, then yeah, this isn't gonna work that well. You can definitely do like Mario falling nair into down tilt or Mario falling nair into jab. But I think that what he's trying to say is that a lot of characters that love fighting Steve or can deal with fighting Steve are projectile users because they don't have to approach him while also still doing damage. And it's like, now he can avoid just getting spammed by Samus or spammed by Villager or spammed by Belmont. Well, in some cases, because Belmont has range, but you can just be spammed by projectiles and actually deal with them without having to put us up in an awful spot. There is counterplay, of course, because you need to have, I think this just doesn't work when it comes to fast moves, but when it comes to slow attacks, with committal lag that are really strong, like in Sonora Side B, Cloud Forward Air, it's like, this is really, really good. And it's something every Steve should learn. I just think it's not universal. Like, it's not going to get him out of every attack in neutral, but it definitely will be important to learn. It's not even that hard looking, to be honest. It just like, You don't want to get spammed by projectiles from a mile away, and you still want to mine for free without having to have block every time, because block is not going to be there every single time. Then do this. I think 4 out of 5 for sure. And that is the whole week of buffs. Overall, there is some crazy stuff in here. I think Whydo is definitely cemented himself in the community as a great labber of this character, and I hope this inspires people to lab things from their character themselves, because this stuff is nuts. I don't think it's as influential to get him banned as people want to believe, but it's definitely making options they were already doing way better and safer, to the point where he might become the best by a larger margin that might make people want to ban him even more. Overall, nothing. I don't think there's anything that should just ban, like, is game breaking, but definitely makes him broken, if you know what I mean. So thank you guys for watching.